Good morning. This video is showing what we're doing on assignment 135, where we're going to document the parts to the Trammel toy. The first thing you need to do is go to the folder that contains this assignment 135, and when you open it, it's pretty straightforward. The assignment's right here, so you can click on the link to see what you're supposed to do. I also spelled it out there. We need to get this crank arm file and properly dimension it. And then, once you do that, you're going to have a sheet that looks like this when you're done. So the crank arm file will look like this once you have it completely done. This is what we're going to learn in this assignment, is how to do a detail view. It's not very hard. I'm sure you guys will master it and it will be awesome. This would have been very useful when you were doing your Charmed I'm Sure project, because a lot of you had things you didn't know how to dimension, and the detail view would have been very good for that. But unfortunately, we can't teach everything at once. Also, you are supposed to dimension the pin slider block, the screw slider block, and the Trammel toy base once you're done with this. So I'm just going to get started. I don't need to have the directions out here. I am going to make those directions go away. And to get the crank arm file, that's going to be located right here, and all you got to do is click on that and it will download. So it's right here. I'm going to click, and when it downloads, it goes onto that little download bar at the bottom of the screen. Actually, mine's right up there. So I'm going to open that folder, and I'm going to open that folder right there. And then once I have this, I'm going to take it out of this folder. I'm going to do a right click and cut it. So I'm going to use the cut tool, or you could use Control and X. So I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to close this folder. I don't need the folder anymore, so I'm just going to close that. I'm also going to close this window, and I'm going to close this window, and I'm going to right click and paste that file. There it is, right there on my desktop. And the reason I'm doing that is so that it's easy to find in just one moment once I open Fusion 360. So that is what I'm going to do now. I will pause the video while Fusion 360 opens. Alright, now that Fusion 360 has opened, I am going to go over to the waffle in the upper left, and if things have gone well, you should have a Trammel toy folder project that you've made already. I'm going to make sure that I'm in that folder. As long as I'm in that folder, I should be fine. And then I'm going to open that crank arm. So to open it, I'm going to go up to the File menu, click on the little down arrow, go down to Open, click on Open, and I'm going to open from my computer. So when I click from my computer, it's going to ask where it is, and if you put it on the desktop, it's really easy to find. You just click Desktop, and then you're going to scroll down until you find that crank arm file, highlight it, and select Open. This is the only way you should try to bring parts into Fusion 360. Fusion 360 can be glitchy. If you open the part right off of Schoology, which I know you can do, you can double click on it, it'll open. Sometimes you're going to run into problems when you try to put things together. If you open a part right from a website, which we'll be doing that later, we're going to be getting some screws and nuts and bolts and stuff from McMaster-Carr. It's a website that has the PDF files and everything that we need to be able to pull them into Fusion. If you open them right off of the website, you're going to run into issues. You have to download them onto your computer. I always copy them to my desktop. You don't have to do that as long as you know where your download folder is. I just copy them to my desktop right away because that's just easier to find them later. And then you open Fusion and import them by doing what I just did. So once you're here, you have the crank arm. There's nothing else. This is not a part that you have to make. So I'm just going to make sure that I save this because I need it later when I put my Trammel toy together. So I'm going to save, and it's already called crank. I'm just going to call it crank arm though, just to make it easier to find it later. It's going into the Trammel toy folder, and it is saved. Okay. Under File, New Drawing, From Design, click. I want to make sure that I use my project lead the way title block that I made for this class, and I'm going to say OK. Once you do that, you want to make sure that you have the best front view possible, and I do believe that once this starts, when it comes in, that is not the best front view possible. So there's a couple of ways we could change it. We could go back to our original document and switch that up, or right over here I can select a different view, and that is a much better view to put in as my front view than what the front view was. So I'm going to drop that one in there. It says it's the top. The scale could probably be a little bit better. I'm going to go 1:1 for scale. That seems reasonable, and I hit enter, and there is my base. Nobody knows that this was the top view at this point because we've learned that engineers have a way of doing things, and if you put it in this part of the document, that means that this is the front view. If I right click, project view, click, select my base, I'm going to make one over there, and I'm going to make the isometric up here. That looks great. And I'm not doing a top view because there's no information that can be gained from that. I am going to double click here and make sure that that one is shaded because that just looks a lot nicer. I am going to double click here and change that one to 2:1. Just so it's a little bit bigger. It's kind of almost like doing a real cheap version of a detail view when I do that. Okay, so the only thing that I do have left to do is to show you the detail view. It's this icon right up here. It's got the little A with a circle around it. When I click it, I have to select the view I want to detail, and I want to detail this view. So I'm going to click it, and now I have to choose the center point. So I'm going to go right here. I can choose anywhere. I could choose here. I could choose here. It doesn't have to be the center of a circle. I happen to be choosing the center of a circle. You don't have to. But I'm going to click and then drag my mouse. I'm not holding the button down. All I did was click. And when I drag my mouse, that circle gets bigger. So whatever is inside of the circle is going to be what gets detail viewed. I'm going to do that one more time. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to select the detail view. I'm going to click the view I want, this view. And I don't have to click the center of that circle. I'm going to go off of it this time just because. Click. And now I drag my mouse. I'm not holding the button. I just click and drag. And then once I have that boundary, I'm going to click one more time. And now I can drag that around. I'm again not holding the button. I clicked it, and I'm going to place it right here. Place. So I now have a detail view. It says it's 2:1. I'm going to hit OK, and there we go. This is my scaled detail view. That's 2:1 from that spot right there. If I want to, I can change that scale to be 3:1, and it'll be even bigger. And then I can really get in there and dimension some things specifically. According to the directions here, we're supposed to put a note on this page and detail a couple of things. So let's just dimension the couple of things we're supposed to. It looks like according to the page, you're supposed to go from that end to that end, which was 4.5. Boom. It wants you to dimension a radius, so I'm going to click there and drag that out. There's my radius. You're supposed to do some real simple dimensioning in here, like from here to here, which is 0.05. And then the overall on that side from here to here is 0.24. I'm just looking at the page on the next to me here. One more item. We can get some more decimal points in here if you want. To do that, all you need to do is click on the number. I double clicked on it and it opens up this menu. If we say we want more decimal points, you can hit more decimal points and it'll put them in. So I want that to go to 3 places, and then it will show it to 3 places when we do it. There. I didn't put the 0 in there, that's fine. To add the note, it's just a text box. I'm going to drop the note in right here. Oops, that got really big. Note, note, and I'm just going to say note, all units are in inches. The right view is scaled at 2 to 1 to improve the detail shown. And the reason that I'm putting that note in there the way that it is, so I might put that over here, is because normally when you make a sheet like this, and I'm actually going to put it right up there where it is in the other one, you want all of the views to be at the same scale. And this is 1 to 1, which is why it says 1 to 1 right down there. But because I changed this one to 2 to 1, I want to make sure I indicate that somehow. And that's your crank arm file. That's one of the things that you'll be able to snip a picture of and turn in on Schoology once you're done with all 4 of them.